Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Red and White Chalkboard podcast with me, your host, Cormac, and my co-host, Taylor. Taylor, how the frick are we doing?
Oh man, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't anything but depressed.
Yeah, which is a running theme, it seems to be. No
Yeah.
Man United at the top this week from Taylor, which I don't know what that says, but it definitely says something.
Well, all I'm going to say on the matter for now is that pre-season is my favourite time of the year.
Pre-season is Man United's best performances of the year,
Mhm.
and I think that's something we'll come on to very shortly. But welcome back, guys, to another episode. This week is going to be a little bit of a Champions League preview. We'll be diving into what we think the favourites are, kind of looking at the English clubs and their results and some of the others as well. This is a Wednesday night as we record, so obviously it started on Tuesday, which was last night, and there are games tonight and tomorrow. We'll also be having a little Taylor rant, Man United focus, obviously, all things Man United at the moment, and Ruben Amorim especially, I imagine, might be getting a bit of a shout out, as well as looking at our Red and White Scoreboard segment from last week and how we did, and look at more results this week. And then a bit of a preview this coming weekend with the likes of the Merseyside Derby, Arsenal versus Man City, and a few of the other games ahead of us as well. But first things first, if you are a fan of these videos or you are new and you want to get involved, please like, please subscribe, please share. Does us massive favours with the algorithms and all that stuff. I'm going to pretend I understand.
The AI robots will love us.
They will. They'll, and all that good stuff. So please like, please share, and all that. But let's get into it. And I think the best place to start is Man United being shit again. Shock to the world. Now, we both predicted... Well, actually, I predicted a Man United draw on the weekend. Obviously, they lost 3-0 to Man City. I think I said 2-2. You said 3-2. To Man United, that is. I'm just going to say let it rip, Taylor, and I think you dive into what you have to say about the weekend and the club again. Let's not try to sound like a broken record, which I think is we are in danger of happening, but also it's an important thing to go through. So, go.
Thank you, Cormac. Thank you for giving me the space here to discuss. This is my equivalent of therapy, so I'm going to just let loose. No, actually, I think it's important to hold even, balanced, fair debates. That being said, and I don't like to swear on this podcast, I like to keep it PG. That was shit. So much of that was just so bad. But the worst thing about it is, it's not the first time I've seen this. All the issues that were on display on Sunday against Manchester City is something I've repeatedly seen in one instance or another for a year since Ruben Amorim has taken over. I'm not going to talk you through the game, listeners or watchers, because I'm sure time has passed.
We've seen it. Yeah.
You've seen it. But what I will discuss is Ruben Amorim and what he's done in the year he's had in charge of Manchester United. Coming up to a year, he was hired November last year. And since that time, out of the 17 consistent teams who are in the Premier League, not the ones who have been promoted, not the ones who have been relegated, Manchester United sit 17th out of 17th in positions in the league based on points secured through Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim has won 8 of his 31 games in charge for Manchester United. Ruben Amorim has got his own way in various situations, be it players leaving, coaching staff coming in, players joining the club. He has had it all, and he's not even manager. His job title does not say manager, he's head coach. Ruben Amorim has implemented a system which has not been played in the academy at any point in Manchester United's history, has not been played in the first team, maybe once or twice under previous managers in a rare scenario, ever in our history, and is having absolutely no success. In a world where we're playing 3 centre-backs, conceding 3 goals and not scoring a single goal after spending £250 million on a whole new attack, to me that screams, well, it can't clearly... You got rid of a whole attack on the basis that we didn't score any goals last season. So we brought 3 new players, 2 who overperformed incredibly in the Premier League and were 2 of the standout players. And you still can't score a goal. To me, that screams, oh, it must be the system that you're playing. And he's just refusing to budge on that, and he's continuing to play the same system. I look at that midfield, and that midfield is so poor. And it's not even because of the personnel, because you've got Bruno Fernandes, who was and has been the top creator in the Premier League for the past 4 years, alongside that of Kevin De Bruyne, alongside that of, say, a Trent Alexander-Arnold, these top-tier players. And what Ruben Amorim's system has done, and what Ruben Amorim has chosen to do, is pull him further away from where he's been so effective for so many years for Manchester United. He's been our best player for Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes.
For the last 6-7 years.
And
as long as he's been there. Yeah.
And we all know, as fans of the club, what his weaknesses are. And it's the further you drag him away from that goal, the more his overall weaknesses are exposed. And it showed again because he let his runner go again for the Phil Foden ran off of Bruno Fernandes and was able to head that in. But that's because Bruno Fernandes is not a central defensive midfielder, but is being forced to play in centre defensive midfield. It's unbelievably ridiculous. We have 3 centre-backs and we still concede so much space. We have no control at any point. Our biggest threats are our left wing-back and our right wing-back. And the whole thing is ridiculous. And the biggest thing about it, which really frustrates me, is that he will refuse to do anything about it. And that is, to me, a sign of a really poor manager for a top team. He might go somewhere else and he might implement the back system is fluid, whatever. He might go and do that and it might work somewhere else. And that's really good for him. But in the Premier League, you have to be so tactically flexible nowadays. No team is playing one system so unbelievably rigidly and being unbelievably successful. The best teams are just really solid and are able just to adapt to their opponent and not. If you're going to just face the same opponent in the Premier League with the same system, these guys spend millions of pounds every year on analysts who are carving this system apart as we speak, and it's working. It's not even carving it apart because it's already been carved open. Everyone knows what its weaknesses is. Pass through the middle of the pitch because no one's there. You got Manu Ugarte who's just looking for a war. You got Bruno Fernandes who's not watching any man because nor should he because he's the cam. Last season Bruno Fernandes was playing striker for us, and now he's being forced to play as a deep lying 6. I'm just like, what the? It just makes no sense. And so much change has happened at the club. And if I sit here now and I hate, and we've had some really tough times at United in recent history, and I've never really even been one to say we need to get rid of a manager. I've really, even with Ollie, with Eric Ten Hag, even with Jose Mourinho, you probably accept the time's up, but it feels horrible getting rid of a manager. I just really wouldn't mind if we got rid of Ruben Amorim. I would have to name 3 or 4 reasons as to why Ruben Amorim is still in the job before I get to it's because of I've seen something from him or his team or his style or his idea that has convinced me that this is worth trying. It's the board have made this decision and they don't want to look like fools. They desperately need it to work because it's the first big decision they've made. They've sacked a lot of people. They brought in this guy for Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag now, who's recently been sacked himself. A kill for Eric Ten Hag right now.
Free. Yeah,
absolutely. They brought this guy. This is their guy. And they've put all their eggs in this basket. They have got rid of Manchester United's highest earners to back this manager. They don't want to look ridiculous. He is a fantastically eloquent speaker. He's able to convince everyone that he knows what he's doing. But at some point, we need to just understand this is all fart and no shit. And he's just blagging it. He's not managed in the Premier League before. He is just getting carved apart by just superior managers, coaches, and also, straight up say it, Manchester United just look like an average mid-table squad. And the hardest thing for Manchester United fans to adjust to is that actually just might be the truth, that we have just managed to accumulate a bunch of overpaid average players in 75% of the team. Because we look at these players and we're like, oh, we love Ahmad. We think Bruno's fantastic. De Ligt has been hyped up since he was 18 years old. Harry Maguire, steadfast of England, squad. We have, who else? Diego Dallo, mainstay in the Portuguese side. Luke Shaw. We have Kobbie Mainoo, who's this, prestigious academy talent. We have, Patrick Dorgu, a 20-year-old. But, what has any of these guys shown us in the past 3-4 years that makes me think, actually, you guys are pretty good. There's been very few moments, and maybe we just have to accept they're an average team. But I don't want to, because before I accept that, I want to see Ruben Amorim gone, and I want to see anyone else manage that team with just a normal formation, which isn't stupid beyond, but it's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm sick of seeing 3 at the back.
Well, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing
over and over again, and he's not going to change it. And we're going to go to Chelsea the weekend, and we're going to play 3 at the back again, and we're going to lose, and he's going to get sacked. And if he doesn't get sacked, the Manchester United fans are going to be absolutely fuming. I can't believe this. Speaking on behalf of an incredibly diverse fan base from people in Manchester, all around the world, all around the UK. I'm sure there is plenty of people who like Ruben Amorim. I'm sure there's plenty of people who want to give him more time. I'm sure there's still a large majority. But I can almost guarantee so many of them will flip if we were to lose to Chelsea. Because we are playing at the minute every game by game by game. And every game, even if we win, if we lose the next one, it's almost at the precipice. Because his record has been so bad. He's never won 2 games in a row, if I can remember off the top of my head. Like, he's shown me nothing that
Poor
he can
guy with
adapt.
the hair on TikTok.
Oh, man. He's not shown me anything to convince me that he has what it takes to implement a successful system in the Premier League. We have no European competitions. These weeks feel so long to mull over all these rubbish. If we were winning, I wouldn't even mind, but we're not even winning. If it looked like we were good, sure. Sesko looks like the bloody same as what we had with Moylan.
Well, I mean, that says a lot, doesn't it?
It always was the system. It always has been the system, and it always will be the system. Ruben Amorim, just listen to me, please, for goodness sake. Stop playing 3 centre-backs. It will be a downfall. We have no midfield. Put another midfielder in there. Jesus Christ. If we're conceding 3 goals with 3 centre-backs, I can almost guarantee you we won't concede more if we put 4 at the back and 3 in midfield. I can guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you've basically hit the nail on the head there in terms of the issues. I as an outsider, so a non-Man United fan, I don't see a world where Amorim turns this around.
He should have got sacked ages ago, in my personal opinion.
The summer was the opportunity, wasn't it? But like you said, the board couldn't because it's their first decision.
Yeah.
And it makes them look stupid. I mean, he doesn't get sacked this weekend if you lose to Chelsea. I think the earliest he stays is... The next time to do it would be the international break.
I mean, ultimately, in my opinion, for him to show me, this is me personally, I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone else here, for me to show, to believe in him in any capacity, I need him to beat Chelsea, I need him to beat Brentford, and I need him to beat Sunderland. Realistically,
he's pulling up the next fixture.
He's got to beat Brentford and Sunderland, because if he ain't beating both of them, he's got to be gone, in my opinion.
Away at Brentford's not easy, though.
Look, we need European football in some capacity next year. We're already at the Carabao Cup. Bro should have been sacked after Grimsby, in my absolute opinion.
That's one of the worst results in history.
If you're struggling as a Manchester United coach and you're not getting wins, and you still can't coach the team to a win at a 4th tier team, you should be sacked. I think that is not an outrageous thing to say. Not enough people. The only person who's Gary Neville's only started discussing what's his future been at risk. I've been saying it here for weeks. He should have been gone time ago. After that international break, he got it there. We got Liverpool. If we keep him and we don't win every single game, we get to Liverpool lose, we could conceivably, after the Liverpool game, be anywhere between 13th and in the bottom 3.
Yeah, genuinely, you actually could.
No, 100%. We're 14th right now.
You've got Chelsea this weekend, and let's be honest, that's going to be a tough game.
Well, it's going to be just a lose. I haven't seen anything from this team which gives me any crop of belief that they can go to a competent team and get a result.
Well, let's take it back to the first week, because there was a lot of optimism after that Arsenal result.
Everyone was just gassed because it was after pre-season and we beat Bournemouth and everyone else said we were really good.
I think looking then even, there was something, wasn't there? And I don't know if that kind of says more about the way Arsenal played in hindsight, but there was something that gave Man United fans optimism. I think it was the likes of the shiny new toys, maybe of Mbeumo, Acuna, and there was a bit more, felt like there was a bit more dynamism.
Dynamism. I feel like the scars of last season, people have forgotten about them, but the scars cut so deep because it was so bad. Yeah. Like our worst season of all time domestically, and to lose a European final where we performed dreadfully against Tottenham of all teams. So the scars from that season are just so deep, emotionally traumatizing season. I think everyone was just in their best spirits to kind of convince themselves that things were changing, because we needed that as a fan base. But everything I've seen since has just convinced me, no, we haven't changed. We've just rehashed. We've brought 3 new players, rehashed the exact same traumas that we've got. I say traumas. We've got no midfield. No wonder we get beat every week. We ain't got a midfield. Yeah. The fact that, in hindsight, and I think I kind of raised it at the time, spend £70 million on Benjamin Sesko when we had essentially a similar-ish problem with Rasmus Højlund to Sesko. We're going to have the same problem we have this season with Sesko as we had with Højlund. Yeah. Imagine just having spent that money on a midfielder.
Or two midfielders.
Or just 2 midfielders. Or just a midfielder, for instance, who could have just come in and allowed Kobbie Mainoo to be a partner for him in midfield, or just prevented Bruno Fernandes to having to play there. Just seemed like such a better use. I think why are we so bad at this?
From what I've seen, it seems to be the biggest issue for me in terms of
I just think as well,
so much space, and
as soon as you bypass it, we've got 3 centre backs, and there's just such a space in between all of them that it's just they're either too crowded together and there'll be a space on the other side, or they're too spread out and there'll be gaps down the middle for people to run through the half space. And these players have not been able to figure out the trigonometry essentially to prevent that happening. And it's clear because it happens every single week. We are conceding similar goals all the time. We have that third man running off the midfield because there's no midfield into the box because the centre backs are occupied. I don't know how because there's 1,000 of them, but they're all occupied by the same player. And then the bloke in behind just comes and just sticks in. Smith Rowe ran off Bruno, scored. Foden ran off Bruno, scored. How many more times are we going to see that this season before Ruben Amorim thinks, ooh, maybe if I just stop letting that be a situation, that goal might stop happening. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here waiting and cautiously watching.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Man United rant.
Thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it.
No, Man United shit.
We still are, man.
Really shit. You're going to lose probably to Chelsea this weekend, I imagine.
Yeah.
And we'll just have to see what happens to Amorim.
You know what? If you could kind of clip me up over this 4-week period from the start to now.
Oh, God, it would be really funny.
I mean, to be fair, I think my rant after Grimsby. Actually, you know what?
That tops it.
I think the rant was before Grimsby. Funny enough.
That's so funny.
And then Grimsby happened, and now this has happened. Long story short, sack him.
Yeah, I think it feels like it is. It's not if, it's when.
Just the fact he's still got a job is if this happened to Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, any of the other massive clubs who I would associate Manchester United with in their standings historically would have got rid absolutely ages ago. Yeah. Absolutely ages ago. And it's a sign that these people above in the top brass of Manchester United need to essentially, own up to their mistakes, to put it very nicely, because I'm being recorded, and be like, we've messed up here with Manchester United. We just need to remedy this. Not, it's nice to get a coffee with Ruben. Let's keep him in post. Get rid of him. All
right. Yeah, that's fair. So that was I don't know if you guys saw that, but Man United lost on the weekend to Man City 3-0. Really quickly rattling off the other games on the weekend. Arsenal, very comfortable 3-0 win at Forest. Newcastle against Wolves, that was kind of shit. Obviously, they had the big boy, what's his name? Wolf and Cunt, what's his name?
Who?
The new striker for Liverpool, the German big boy.
Liverpool.
Oh, sorry, Newcastle. Sorry, losing my mind.
Nicholas Volta Messi.
Volta Messi, exactly. Graham Potter again is the next manager to be sacked.
But funny enough, has a higher win percentage in the Premier League than Ruben Amorim, which is ridiculous. Really sorry, funny. I'm done now.
Chelsea losing the win in the last second with Carvalho getting a draw, which is really funny. And then, obviously, on the weekend, Liverpool, Mohamed Salah giving the most Mohamed Salah performance of all time, which is not doing anything, and they're getting a penalty in the 95th minute to get Liverpool that win. And then, obviously, the 3-0. But, yeah, that's been this last week.
A rubbish weekend, I thought.
It was a very dull weekend of football, I think.
Especially post-international break. Normally, the hype is there. Yeah. But I don't think there was enough big games.
No, Southampton-Portsmouth as well, which is like one of the biggest derbies in the country, and then that ends up being a 0-0. Yeah. It was a bit underwhelming. I mean,
very underwhelming for the masses.
I think so. But Taylor, looking on to the Champions League now. So it kicked off last night with Arsenal versus Athletic Club.
Oh, let's take a pause there.
Okay.
I say we talk about it.
We can talk about it a bit.
Talk to me, Cormac. You watched the game?
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to dwell on this too long, to be honest, because I want to talk about kind of the Champions League.
I think you should talk about our main man, Gabriel.
Gabriel Fartinelli off the bench is maybe the best player in the world.
Squad depth looking good.
Well, that's the thing. Compare this season to last season, right? Last season, we were bringing on Sterling and whoever to come off the bench in times like that. And this season, we can bring off Martinelli and Trossard, both getting an assist and both getting a goal to get Arsenal that 2-0 win, which is, a tactical masterclass from the likes of from Arteta. But I mean, it was a tough game actually. Athletic Club looked really good, especially in the first half. I thought they played very well.
They're pesky.
They are pesky, very Spanish, kind of classic Spanish teams, I think, in that. But in the end, we were just too strong. Again, defensively, we've conceded one goal this year, which was that Soboslai.
You guys might concede about 4 goals.
Well, there's that Chelsea record of only conceding 15 goals in one Premier League season. I genuinely think we could challenge that.
You're right. You guys just look massive, and every time Athletic Club were running towards you in the second half, it looked pointless.
It's crazy to have the amount of confidence I have in my defenders now. Because, you see them running in, it's 2-on-1, for example, and it's Gabriel. Gabriel he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's so confident as a guy who, when we first brought in, had that Bozo gene, but no more. He is so important for us. Timber, oh my God, special shout out to Timber.
Mm-hmm.
He was unbelievable yesterday. on the ball,
Such a player.
off the ball. I think he's so good. He kind of goes a little bit under the radar because he kind of does everything you want from a player of his quality to do. None of the flashy stuff, but he can keep the ball so well. He's so important now. He's linking up very well with Madueke, who again, I think had a great game. He's doing everything but getting a goal and an assist at the moment.
Madueke.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, fuck you, Arsenal fans, by the way, who were saying, wanted to sign that petition to get rid of him. I think if we look back,
football fans are so fickle, man.
I said 10 goals,
myself incled.
I said 10 goals, 10 assists this year from Madueke. Again, he is currently on 0. Let's just
between the two of us, we might just get to about 5 each.
Yeah. But I think he's been really good. He's really stepped up, even when the international break as well with England. Again, against Forest on the weekend, he looked really good. Eze was a bit quieter last night. But
Champions League debut.
Yeah, Champions League debut. And I think most of our stuff was coming down the right-hand side.
I think he'll ball out against the big teams.
I'm not worried about that. I think, who was it on? Darren Fletcher on BT was just kind of like, Eze's being kind of a bit quiet.
People are just annoying.
He was good against Forest. I thought he had a few moments against Forest. Got an assist again,
He's literally just arrived. Then got whisked away on international duty immediately.
Yeah.
And now is
you can see the quality; it's still there.
Yeah,
whenever he has his moments, still
he's top.
It's just because he's not. I think people are maybe confused because with Palace he was involved in everything, whereas now you've got to balance a little bit.
Yeah. You can't just be involved in everything immediately.
No,
he will naturally find his place in that team,
and he'll have his moments as long as the rest of the squad, as much as.
As long as you win,
who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean 2-0
again.
A good result, a tough game away from home, first Champions League, very important just to get a win.
Pretty sure Man U smashed them.
What was the score of Man United?
We smashed Athletic Club.
Yeah, what was the? No, this is genuine.
I think it was like 9-1 on aggregate.
It was something like that, but I was also in the Europa League, and now where you was.
Yeah.
So very happy with that. I think looking at the Champions League, I think we are probably one of the favourites.
Well, you're going to breeze through the group stage.
Yeah,
you've almost got to be really stupid to not get through the group stage.
Absolutely, and to finish in that
win,
top section.
I think as soon as you win the first game, the percentage odds of you not getting qualified is something ridiculous.
I know. I think overall last year, so obviously with the new Champions League format, I think I enjoyed it. I think it was funny. I saw the league table from last year. PSG finished 12th on that table.
Yeah, they almost botched it
because they were really. And some City I think finished, were they 11th or something as well, or 13th? They were around the same level. So I mean, it just shows how poor PSG were because Arsenal beat them. Newcastle beat them 4-0 in the group stage of the Champions League, and then they go on to win the entire thing. And
football do be a funny game.
And were by far the best team in Europe last year. But yeah, just really quickly touching on Arsenal, I do fancy. I think we're almost more set up to be a better cup team than we are a league team, in a way.
I think you're so hyper bothered about the Premier League. That's where you'll falter.
Well,
over the course of 2 legs, I do think if you would come up against, for example, like a Liverpool. I think you'd beat Real Madrid. I don't know. I don't think there's necessarily many teams.
Real Madrid scraped, by the way, yesterday.
We'll talk about Real Madrid in a minute, but I don't think there's many teams who I think would beat you. But I do think there are a couple of teams, if you would have faced them before the final, who could do it over 2 legs.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, it would be your PSGs. I think it'd be your Liverpools. I think your Man Cities would cause you a problem as well. Just because of that nature.
Even Chelsea, I think, would be an interesting tie.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. It feels like it's been ages since a really classic British 2 teams met in the semi-final.
Yeah, I always think Man United, Chelsea, kind of the late 2000s, or the early 2010s, that kind of thing. Yeah, I know what you mean. But on the Champions League in general, Taylor, obviously that's about the best competition. Great to see Man United. Oh no, they're not in it. Sorry, you're on the. Sorry, none of the above. I apologise. Smug. Do you have one particular team that stands out to you at the moment? Still, obviously, it was only a few games last night, and we haven't seen all the teams play yet.
Yeah.
But from what you've seen and the murmurs,
I'm going to give you 3 teams. I'm going to tier them. Please. So I'm going to give you my absolute favourites.
Okay.
So my absolute favourites are PSG because they'd be nice with it. Yeah. They'd be nice with the football.
Lost on a rumour, obviously, to Man City.
Yeah, but they brought in Lucas Chevalier, who is probably going to be France's goalkeeper of the World Cup next year. It's not like they've replaced him with Andre Onana or Altay Bayern.
Would be great if they did.
It would have been ideal. So I think PSG are my ultimate favourites. My dark horse is Antonio Conte's Napoli.
Okay. Well, they're playing tomorrow night.
They are playing Thursday evening against Manchester City. Scotty, have you got something for me?
De Bruyne playing, obviously. Hoyland, obviously, playing the X. We love an X narrative on the podcast.
X narrative on the Man City Napoli game is unbelievably high.
That's very exciting.
So I just like the idea that we've got Rasmus Hoyland, Romelu Lukaku, Scott McTominay, Kevin De Bruyne,
Yeah.
and the
Who
boys.
started very well, apparently, for Napoli as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Chilling with it. I mean, it's a whole different pace of league. They're my dark horses because I feel they were out of Europe last year, back in it this year.
Yep.
I think they'll be focusing on it. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Really fun to watch. Yeah.
And then I have two teams under this category who I think are just rubbish: Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. And this is a hot take.
Okay, let's start with Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich, I think, as soon as you get past their primary 11, which I think is good, if you take out Elise out of 11, that 11 looks mid.
Yeah.
Because I think Elise's top 5 in the world right now.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm coming out with all the hot takes.
Yeah, so they've got Chelsea tomorrow night. Oh, sorry, tonight even.
Yeah, this is a good game.
Yeah.
So I think, look at that team. Okay, so Diaz...
This is their lineup that they're playing tonight,
yeah,
by the way, guys.
I think if you take Elise out of that team, I think that's a very mid team.
So you've got Kane up top, who, I mean, still scores. He's, you know, Gnabry in the 10, Diaz on the left, Kimmich is still there, Pavlovic, who I think
Do you like Pavlovic?
I think he's fine. I'm not overwhelmed. That the back four is
lame.
Is
Conrad Lima at right back, by the way, stinks.
Yeah. Upamecano stinks.
Jonathan Tah
stinks.
It does, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
No, you're
you
right.
know what I mean?
It's not.
You take Elise out, and then you look at that bench, go down to that bench, and tell me you're all right about it. And then tell
Nicholas
me...
Jackson, brother.
Yep.
Oh, I hope he plays tonight.
No, he'll
Chelsea.
score. I do like Nicholas Jackson.
I do.
I wish Man U would sign Nicholas Jackson.
He would have made more sense. Goretzka as well. He's just not the player he used to be.
He just looks wham.
Kim Min-jae, I've never been convinced of, and I'm not sure why I have
and then
either.
who are the rest of these geezers?
Yeah, a bunch of the guys have named.
Yeah.
David Santos. Who the hell is he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although I will say Leonard Carl, the very young guy out of Bayern Munich's academy, is very good. But again, so young that I'm not going to count him truly as.
Yeah.
But anyway, frauds. They're my frauds, and they've been frauds for a few years. And then my other frauds being Real Madrid.
Okay. So they scraped by Marseille last night. Who Marseille went 1-0 up as well.
But let it be known, I don't think
2-1.
Marseille are going to be the best team that Real Madrid come up against.
No,
and I think as soon as they naturally, I think they will get through. I think they'll come up against other teams who will cause them problems. I think there'll be a couple of draws. They'll probably get a loss or two in there. But as soon as they come up against a distinguished opposition in the quarters or whatever round it is, the round 16, I think they'll just plumb it out. I think that'll be that. But I think you will see them lose a couple of times.
They've been a bit shaky from what I've seen in the beginning.
It's just something I'm unconvinced about.
Trent went off in 5 minutes as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, shame. But
yeah. Unconvinced. I just think they've been so good for so long. And again, you kind of it's difficult to have to accept when that team is 100% different to when they were winning all their Champions League. It's not the same team. So to accept that mentally, that
Tony Carvajal, who's there, and obviously Courtois.
But Carvajal's like 34. And
he's still their number one right back at the moment. Right back.
And the biggest players who they've had for like Tchouaméni, I don't think he's ever particularly convinced, considering he cost almost 100 million euros. Camavinga has been injured a lot. Jude Bellingham obviously has had surgery on his shoulder, but I'm a bit unconvinced by Real Madrid. They're my two teams. So Cormac, tell me through. What are you thinking?
I think probably favourites. I think it's pretty boring, but PSG. I think for me,
no, Arsenal. You don't think now you could
get? Hang on, give me a second. As well as Arsenal.
Okay.
I do really fancy us to kind of have a good run, a bit like we did last year. Obviously, at the end of the day, we got knocked out by PSG, who were by far the best team in the competition in the end. And I don't think there was really any shame in just they were just so good. And again, I think if we did have a bit more depth in the team last year, if we did have maybe a Gyökeres or someone who was a 9, I think I can't remember. I don't think Havertz played as well, so I think we struggled really for depth last year.
No, Gabriel.
Yes, of course, Gabriel wasn't there, and again, I'm not sure that would have made too much of a difference. To be honest, Kivior, who King, by the way, RIP, we miss you. Just had man of the match performance in the first game at Porto. He filled in really.
Everyone's so good at the football.
I know, it was great to see. He would be your best centre back if you signed him, Kirill.
Probably.
But yeah, I think PSG probably definitely are favourites again, which is very dull. I do still think Arsenal, again, we have improved defensively. I mean, we are an absolute unit. We're not. It's all going to come down to can we score the goals, which so far this season. It's been mixed, really. Against Liverpool, you'd argue that we weren't that kind of attacking, and we didn't do it.
X-narrative changes so quickly.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. So, but I still do fancy our chances. I think if you look at our lineup and especially our bench compared to every other team in the competition, we're level, if not ahead of them, really now when it comes to depth and all that. Otherwise, looking at the other kind of English teams, especially, what do you think about Man City? Because I think they're quite an interesting one, really.
Again, I wouldn't be surprised. It screams to me last 16 quarterfinals. They're coming up against a PSG, against an Arsenal. Yeah.
It's hard to tell, really, isn't it, with City at the moment? I still don't really know what I think of them.
Honestly, I reckon they could even come up against like a counter-attacking team in the form of Dortmund. And
that's how they could see their goals.
Yeah. So, again, it very much depends on their opposition.
Yep.
I think they do well against, say, like the Barcelonas and the Real Madrids. I think they do less well against the PSGs and the
Dortmunds.
Yeah, and also just probably the other English clubs, to be honest. I think you guys have probably got I was going to say the know-how, but actually maybe not.
Not quite yet.
Liverpool have the know-how
to
just probably dispatch this Man City season muscle memory.
Yeah. I think Chelsea are quite an interesting one as well. I think they have a possibility to do all right.
I actually just hate Chelsea. I just don't even want to think about Chelsea.
No, I do hate Chelsea as well. But obviously, England. we have 6 teams in the Champions League.
I know. I keep forgetting this.
Which
Newcastle,
who haven't even mentioned. I think they're playing obviously Barcelona tomorrow night.
I think this could be interesting.
I think they could probably beat Barcelona. I think we'll come on to that when we do the red and white scoreboard. I think that'll be a good one to touch on.
I'm gonna hit you with a hot take.
Okay, hit me.
If Newcastle beat Barcelona tomorrow night, I reckon they get to the semi-finals. They have no correlation between the two, which is the best thing about it. But that's my hot take.
Okay, that's fine.
I think if they do, it's going to set the universe in motion to carry Newcastle to the.
You know what? I'm kind of back on the Newcastle side again.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Because last year I was kind of like, oh fuck Newcastle. Newcastle fans are pissing me off. But now the whole Isak thing, and Isak's pissed off, and I quite like a lot of this Newcastle team.
Yeah.
So I
love their midfield.
I'd love to see them have a bit of a run in the Champions League. That'd be great.
I also love Nick Voldemort.
Yeah, he's a vibesman.
He's a vibesman.
He is a vibesman. He looks like someone out of the 70s. He's got all the hair. He's got the tash and the goatee. That's 6'6" as well. It's great.
He reminds me almost if you were a professional footballer.
No, you know what I was saying the other day to some of my mates. I was like, you got guys like this who's 6'6", who's like basically the same height as me. I'm 6'7", just FYI, guys, reference. They are so quick and bendy and nimble. I have not got that at all.
No, it's crazy.
I am the clunkiest 6'7" you'll come across. Like I am. Don't agree. But I ain't got that. I ain't got that nimbleness, that speed that these guys have. That being said, obviously I'm not a professional athlete, even though many people maybe think I am when they see me on the football pitch
for a period of time.
But god damn, it's
funny how people's bodies deal with gravity and such.
Yeah, mine just goes now your knees
bone density. I'm
gonna have it.
What makes him so much more nimble than you?
Honestly, I mean, first of all, playing football at that level for a long period.
But
of time.
I feel like it's something in your
soul
genetics, because there's people who
like,
are my height
who
are just much more like quick with it than I am. Like, I'll catch something if I drop it real quick, like a cat.
Man, yeah.
But I ain't doing it extra quick. Whereas some people, it's funny, isn't it? The bodies and whatnot.
Genetics play, I think, a large part of that. Unfortunately.
Well, talking about mid. Tottenham beat Villarreal.
Scrapes them as well. I mean, did you watch the game?
No, absolutely not.
No, I watched bits of it. They looked pretty poor. They got away with it, I think, last night because they conceded. So they scored an own goal. Villarreal scored an own goal, which meant Tottenham went 1-0 up in the first 4 minutes. And that, I wish I'd missed the goal altogether, but that's what got them through. I think Spurs probably. I mean, Thomas Frank obviously his first time in the competition. Again, I expect a Spurs kind of maybe last 16 appearance. I think kind of the bottom half of that bottom section of the automatic qualification, and they'll quite quickly, I imagine, come up against a Real Madrid.
There's so many teams that are better.
Barcelona, who are probably still a very solid team.
Yeah, no, Barcelona are very good.
Arsenal, even Liverpool, PSG, and I do
there is
think,
about, I'd say, 10 teams better than Spurs.
I think they could pull off a shock here and there. I think Thomas Frank's a good enough coach to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And if they do have their back line fully fit, which I think is a big thing, things like Van der Ven and Romero being around, I don't see why they couldn't get especially into the knockout rounds. If they get to the quarterfinals, I think that's a massive achievement.
Oh yeah, no, Spurs scream round of 16 knocked out against someone random,
Dortmund or something.
Yeah, literally. Question for you: if a coach never managed in the Champions League before, do you think that actually makes a difference? Because everyone's harping on saying, "Oh, Thomas Frank's first game in the Champions League." To me, that really, I don't know if it makes much of a difference. You're either good at coaching or you're bad at coaching.
I understand where you're coming from. You could say the same about football players, right? Or you could say, you're either good at football or you're not. But the occasion does get to people.
But I feel like getting to a player is so much more like tangible than getting to a coach.
Also true, but I think the different styles of football you come up against in the Champions League. Thomas Frank obviously has been a coach in the Premier League now for, I don't know what, 6-7 years. So he's been playing a lot of English football, has never coached against the likes of the Italian teams, the Spanish teams, the German teams, who do all play slightly different types of football.
I imagine his coaching staff is mixed up of international. I know the guy that went to
true.
Chelsea, I think he was from Spain. I'm guesstimating.
Yeah, well, he's an international man himself, obviously.
Yeah.
But I do think, again, I'm not a professional coach. Massive caveat.
We should be.
Yeah, should be. But I do think there is definitely, the moment can get to people, and maybe his mind isn't completely clear on the sidelines at times.
Champions League night, you just find him in the toilet crying.
Yeah, that would be
that is bottling the occasion. That would be me.
Yeah. But in terms of, Taylor, have you got anything else to say about the Champions League?
Yeah, actually, I do. Shout out Lloyd Kelly.
Okay.
Because Lloyd Kelly, in the space of a week, ladies and gentlemen, was signed by Juventus very strangely in January for quite a lot of money, £18 million, I want to say.
That, yeah.
And the Italians, since he moved there, or Juve fans specifically, have downright hated on Lloyd Kelly. I think I was listening to someone else talk about Lloyd Kelly, and it was very much because he is literally just English, and they just don't like the idea of having an English centre-back. Just there's something so completely unexotic about.
Well, it's very un-Italian, isn't it?
Yeah,
they have a history of defending, don't
having
they?
the most majestic. I saw a video of like the Maldini Nesta. Like there was 4 of them. They all had luscious long hair, all looking absolutely fantastic. And obviously, I can imagine going from that to like a bit of a Lloyd Kelly situation is a bit anticlimactic. It's not very anti-pasty. So. But shout out Lloyd Kelly, because not only did he score the equaliser for Juve last night against Borussia Dortmund in the 94th minute, or 96th minute, he also scored the equaliser, which then allowed them to go on to win the game against Inter Milan in the Derby d'Italia at the weekend. So there we go.
But finish off the Champions League then. I think, Taylor, give me let's just a bit of fun, your final 2 and your winner from that.
Group stage, or
no, let's just say final. So if you have to pick 2 teams right now in the final, it's obviously right at the beginning. We'll come back to this.
All right, okay.
Again,
I'm gonna go Barcelona, Napoli.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna go PSG, Arsenal.
Oh, sucks so much.
So boring.
Why would you set yourself up for failure though? Because I feel like
I don't care, man. There's no fun in not doing what you want. Thanks, I appreciate that. Right, Champions League nailed. Moving on to everybody's favourite segment of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do the red and white scoreboard. Now, for those of you who are maybe watching for the first time or don't know, every week me and Taylor pick 5 games from the week, and we're going to predict the scores. You get 3 points for a correct score, 1 point for a correct result, and 0 points for everything else. Let's have a look at last week's results, shall we, Taylor?
I didn't know you got 3 points for a correct score. I would have been playing completely
different.
Yeah,
that changes everything, does it? So let's just run through the games that we picked last week. So we did Southampton versus Portsmouth. I predicted a 0-1. Taylor picked it a 3-1. It was actually 0-0, giving us both 0 points. Next, it was City versus Man United. I predicted 2-2. Taylor predicted a 2-3. It was, in fact, 3-0, giving us both 0 points. Next was Ipswich versus Sheffield. I predicted a 2-0. Taylor predicted a 1-1. It was, in fact, 5-0, giving me 1 point and Taylor 0. Then we've got Arsenal versus Forest. I predicted a 3-0. Taylor predicted a 1-2. It was, in fact, 3-0, giving me 3 points and Taylor 0. And then finally, we picked Espanyol versus Mallorca. I predicted a 2-1. Taylor predicted a 2-2. It was 3-2, giving me 1 point and Taylor 0. And for those keen-eared folks around here who are paying attention there, may have realised Taylor got 0 points for the first time. We have a 0 point. We should have a forfeit or something for this. If someone doesn't get any points in 1 week, we've got to have some form of forfeit.
I guess I'll have to think of it for next week.
Yeah, maybe we will. Moving on. But so I got 5 points from this week. Taylor got 0, putting the league table with me on 17 and Taylor on 8.
Wow.
Taylor, thoughts on your current performance in that?
You know, it's a very long season, Cormac. And it very much is a marathon, not a sprint. And I'm just testing out different tactics at the beginning of the season because I am malleable, unlike Ruben Amorim.
Okay,
although our point tally, I actually have more points than Ruben Amorim. So
that's so true. And you've got a better win percentage in terms of week on week as well.
Yeah. So Screw you, Ruben
Yeah,
Amorim.
fair enough.
Thoughts, Cormac, on so far obliterating your opponent?
I mean, it's exactly what I expected to happen. I clearly know ball, and I think there's nothing else to say, really.
Yeah, in the race for who knows ball, you have took
an early
electric start.
An early lead, 4 weeks in, 5 weeks in even, so might as well be the end.
Yeah.
But as I won, I get to pick. Is it winners or losers you get to pick 3 games? I can't even remember.
Winner is 3 games. But
games.
what Cormac does not know, ladies and gentlemen, is there's a bend coming and his knees can't take it. And I will be storming behind him with malleable kneecaps, getting ready to overtake.
That sounds terrifying, I'm going to be honest. I'm not sure how I feel about that at all. But let's look at the games for this week then and see who will pick. Right, I will go first. As it is a Champions League,
you can pick something tonight if you want.
No, I won't do tonight's games because they'll know this at this point.
True that.
So if those are listening tonight, I'm going to pick the first game. I'm going to pick Newcastle versus Barcelona.
As a big game.
I think it's going to be... You know what? I'm going to say... 2-0 Newcastle.
Wow.
Yeah, why not?
Wow.
Why not? What have you got?
I guess you do have room to get crazy with it. I'm going to go for 2-2.
2-2. Okay.
Not served me well at all.
You picking draws has never worked out.
No, it never works out, man. Why do I do it?
Right, go on. Do you want to pick another Champions League one?
Yeah, I do want to pick another Champions League one. Is that tomorrow night's game?
Yeah, it's tomorrow night.
I'm going to go for... No, I'm going to go for Manchester City, Napoli.
Yeah, just the X narrative alone.
Yeah, and I'm going to go for a 2. No, I'm not going for 2-2. I'm going to go for... I'm going to go for 2-1 City.
2-1 City. I think that's very fair. It is at City as well, confirmed.
Part of my logic. He's in my head.
I'm going to go 3-1 City.
Wow.
Yeah.
Copying me.
Well, you know, I could just pick all the similar results.
Well, that's what I thought was a tactic. I was like, I might just go one up or below you. So no matter what you get, at least I'll match you and I might get the 3 points. It's the way to win the marginal gains.
Oh god! Right, looking ahead of Saturday then, which we'll come on to briefly, just a bit of a preview for this weekend. But Liverpool versus Everton, I think, is going to be a very exciting game.
That's a huge game.
Given the form Everton are in, given the form Liverpool are in.
Oh, wow!
I think the first Merseyside of the season. I think this could be very interesting. At Liverpool. This is interesting.
Screams 2-2.
I honestly was thinking 2-2. 1-1.
You know what? No matter what game I don't predict 2-2, that will be the game that is 2-2.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, that's boring. But also
that is
probably
boring.
Correct, yeah.
But I'm just trying a different tactic out this week.
That's
and if
fair.
this doesn't work, then I'll be outlandish next week. It's pretty much a very flippy flip sitch.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do generally is be boring, because that seems to be my theme.
Yeah. Every week
better.
we've said guy Cormac being boring, and now he's 10
know,
points ahead. So.
Right, what do you reckon? Sunday's games or?
I'm not picking another Man U game because they
idea.
suck. Gone to Sunday. Oh yeah, no, I mean I'm going to be picking Arsenal Man City.
Yeah,
that's a crazy good game as well. Big games, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it is a big one. I see you got 2 games this week as well.
Yeah, gosh, I am going to go for 2-1 to the arse.
I like that. I'm going to go 2-0, 1-0. I'm going to go 1-0 Arsenal.
Wow,
screams 1-0 Arsenal. That one there. Finally, then I will have a look at the other games on Saturday, maybe.
I always find the Premier League looks very lackluster after a Champions League.
Yeah, the Champions League ones are always a bit interesting. Any Championship games? You know what? Let's pick Bournemouth Newcastle. That's a bit of a dull way to finish.
No, but it's quite interesting.
I mean, Bournemouth look good.
Bournemouth look good, and I have them predicted to finish fourth this season. And so far, I think they are fourth. For anyone who's thinking about giving me abuse for that, which is no one actually, because you'll probably agree with me.
Everyone agrees with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say for this one, this could be a very interesting game. 2-1 Bournemouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm minded to go. I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Yeah.
I think Newcastle are going to be tired.
Yeah.
The classic.
It's a bit cliche, isn't it? That one.
The post Champions League Thursday night Champions League.
I know that is wild.
At home though, no travelling.
Yeah,
for the Geordies. So.
Yeah, who Champions League again next week? No, we don't. It's
Europa
Carabao
League.
Cup and Europa League. So Arsenal got Port Vale next week. Woo, that's exciting.
Oh, all the cups that Manchester United aren't in.
Yeah, exactly.
It's brilliant.
You guys are out.
It's a great time to be alive.
Yeah, but quick run through the games then. Newcastle, Barcelona, City, Napoli, Liverpool, Everton, Man City, Arsenal versus Man City, sorry, and Bournemouth, Newcastle. All the scores and everything that we said have been on the screen now for those who are watching. Another week in the R&W Scoreboard. I am crushing it right now. I'm very confident, and I think I'm going to keep it going.
Yeah.
Nice. Right, moving on to this week's worth of football then. Big games this weekend.
Before we do, I actually want to show, it's not just a massive week on the scoreboard for Cormac, he also got a massive week on the fantasy.
I actually did crush it this week on the fantasy.
You got what?
I can't remember the top of my head. I was in the
86 points or something like
I had
that.
Zubimendi in my team obviously got 2 goals.
Yeah.
And then I had
Captain Salah,
which was a fluke at the end, it turns out. And I had Semedo, who had an assist and a goal as well. And then I had a whole back line of clean sheets on top of that as well. And Raya in goals. Sanchez in goal, actually. Sorry.
I've mashed my fantasy. I'm actually at the point now where I'm thinking wholesale changes week 4.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
I actually want to get Salah out of my team. I'm put Haaland in.
100%. Yeah.
That is something I'm going to do.
I'm tempted to give it 2 or 3 more game weeks and slowly filter out some players before doing a complete wild card change the whole.
Yeah, it's too early to do that.
I mean, I've done my wild card where you can change it for 1 week and it reverts back, and I did quite well that week.
Okay.
Because Palmer was injured,
yeah.
so I didn't want to take him out, etc., etc. And I went with Carter, so I'm actually going to probably just use I'm going to wait 6 and then I'm going to do a full analysis. I'm crumbling under the pressure.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, we're looking ahead this week then. So I think the biggest games are Liverpool, Everton, Arsenal, Man City, which we've already given our score predictions for. But the Liverpool-Everton one, I think especially, is going to be quite spicy. So 12:30 on Saturday.
They just love ruining everyone's. I mean, if you're telling me the Scousers aren't still going to be smashed for that,
yeah,
they'll just wake up a bit earlier.
That's what I mean. But Liverpool are kind of last-minute goal merchants at the moment, aren't they? I think all their games at the moment, all their fixtures, we'll have a quick look at the timings of them, but they have been last-minute winners. Obviously, Burnley on the weekend got that 96th minute penalty, 95th minute penalty. Arsenal goal, when they beat Arsenal, it was 83rd minute. Beating Newcastle in the last minute 3-2 with a 90+10 goal.
Yeah.
And then against Bournemouth, Chiesa came on, scored in the 88th, and then Mohamed in the 94th. And then the 2-2, which is the Community Shield. So they are kind of scraping by at the moment. There was a lot of talk, obviously, before the season about Liverpool having that attacking threat, kind of unlike anyone else, but maybe being a little weaker at the back. Mm. They have conceded a few goals. Is this a team that's going to carry on with Liverpool, do you think?
I think, to get ultra cliche, it's the telltale sign of a side that wins the league. When you just find a way to win, ladies and gentlemen.
See, I would argue that when Arsenal were doing this 2 years ago, remember we went for a real phase of getting last-minute wins. Everyone was saying the complete opposite. But you can't do this all season. It's knackering, it's exhausting.
They can, though, because they've just won the Premier League.
I don't know if
it gives you a platform to do whatever the hell you want because you've just won the Premier League.
That is true, and it gives you a lot more slack. That being said, I still don't think this is something that they can maintain. Well, and they're not going to be able to do this every week, are they?
No, but if anything, it's going to go one of two ways. It's either they're going to just draw or lose more, or they're just going to win more convincingly. And the way I see it is they're probably just going to win more convincingly than they are to lose or draw more.
Sure.
Because they are most likely to win the league because they've spent the most money. They won it last year. They've got a strong nucleus of a squad. They've got Isak to come in. The margins right now is, yes, they might have lost or drawn some had they not scored. Well, drawn because they won every game. But actually, in reality,
sorry, upstairs neighbours. Yeah.
The reality is, it's going to switch one or two ways. It can't be sustainable, so it's probably just going to switch to. They'll probably just win 4-2, but score in the 75th or the 70th minute, and that'll be the narrative.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Which it sucks to say, but it is what it is.
I just don't think they're going to carry on like this.
But imagine if Everton do win. That'd be exciting.
That's what I reckon.
The X-narrative.
I think they at least get a draw here, Everton. Yeah. It's very tricky going to Anfield, especially on a derby day. It also means anything can happen.
Everton are sky well. It's the best they've looked in years.
Jack Grealish is flying.
Moyes, man, get him in, man. Give him a 6-year contract and bring him back.
I know. It's funny. He's both Everton and West Ham's manager. You know what? In the kind of history of it all. But I'm very excited for that game. Yeah, I do think I think Everton can get something from this. I really do. They've looked that good.
Also, Arsenal desperately need them to.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm banking on as well. Yeah. There's probably a bit of that. Speaking of Arsenal, obviously they've got Man City on the Sunday at 4:30 at the Emirates. I predicted a 1-0. You predicted a 2-1.
Mm.
Is this because you're confident in Arsenal's ability, or because of your lack of confidence in City at the moment?
Honestly, it's more so I just really hope you beat them. Actually, really hope you batter them because they battered us.
We're not going to batter them.
But you might, because everyone forgets that before they battered us, everyone was saying that they're mid, and I still think they're mid.
No, I do think.
I thought Haaland had a fantastic game, but there's no way your defense will allow him to have the game that he's had against us.
Haaland did Haaland things against you guys, which is running through with the ball and fending everyone off.
That's because we're absolute weaklings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we won't let him do that to the same extent. And
you're gonna have 9 centre backs circling him like sharks.
Him and Gabriel always had a bit of every time they play. It's always fun to watch. They always kind of go at each other.
Yeah.
Which is really fun to watch, and they both kind of relish in that, which is also fun to watch. But I do again fancy us to get the win. I don't think it's going to be pretty. I don't think it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Frankly speaking, 99% of Arsenal games aren't pretty.
No, exactly. So it's not a bold prediction to say, is it? No. I mean, I'd argue last night's game wasn't unpretty. It was more interesting. At least there was some movement with the ball.
That's true.
And Forest, we just kind of controlled and
but the Premier League kind of is built around it now. It's just so physical. I don't know. Game's gone. Game is gone. But I think the game will come to you on Sunday.
Yep.
Yes.
I agree. I still think we'll beat. I think we'll beat them. But
you just want you want a Gyökeres to score, or you want
Madueke. I would love
Madueke. Yeah, you want Madueke to score. Yeah, you just want to kind of get more of the guys. Nice to see Zubimendi score. It's nice to see the new signing score important goals.
That's it. Yeah, Zubimendi especially the last 2 games, just like a bit of an adult in that midfield.
He looks nice with it. Don't you just like nice footballers? Guys who are nice with the football.
It's just very natural. Mm-hmm. But those are the kind of the biggest games this weekend. Do you want to have a look at some of the others?
Well, Man U Chelsea.
Big game. Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot about that. Yeah. That is, again, I don't think this is make or break for Amorim. I think it maybe is in the sense of having the fans on his side.
Yeah, I think this because it's at home as well. Yeah. So this is going to be packed. Old Trafford's going to be packed Saturday night. It's going to be sold out. If we're losing at half time, people are going to be deeply unimpressed.
Not even that. If you look lackluster and you look dull at half time and you go in 0-0.
Yeah, no, that's it because we've seen it so much. The bar right now for pissing us off is so low.
Yeah.
So you've got to do something. If he just changed his system, people will give him 50% more. I would immediately give him so much more slack.
Yeah.
If he put just a normal.
Let's just go for 4 at the back for a while.
Let's just go 4 at the back. Let's consolidate. Let's just play Maguire. Let's play De Ligt. Let's play a right back, a left back. Take Dorgu out of the team or stick him up a left wing.
4-3-3.
And play Luke Shaw. I don't. Again, actually, I'm just rehashing the same players who I think are a bit rubbish.
No, but they will be better in a system that they used to.
I don't know. Luke Shaw looks like his legs are gone.
Luke Shaw really struggled on the weekend. He
really
struggled. He kind of got ran through.
Again, final year contract for Luke Shaw. Man U players are the only players immune to final year contract syndrome, which is amazing. But I do probably think, honestly speaking, I think we lose this game. I think Chelsea is so youthful, so dynamic. This just screams Moises Caicedo scoring against us. I don't know what it is, but ever since that we didn't sign that kid from Ecuador 5 years ago for a quid, he's just made it his absolute vindictive effort to score against us every time he comes up against us in any form.
What about that bleach blonde fella that left you guys to go to Chelsea this season?
Oh, Alejandro Garnacho. You know what? It's going to be really, really, really interesting to see.
He's going to get booed crazy.
You know, you have to be a certain type of way to get booed by Man U upon returning. Not many players do.
Really?
No. Try and think of a player that's got booed upon returning to Manchester United. Most people leave relatively dignified. You know, they've either come to the end of their career. There's not many who have left in jest.
I guess most don't often. I mean, I guess
go
these
on
days
to bigger and better things.
Exactly. So most have kind of stepped down.
Yes.
Whereas this, I guess, probably at the moment anyway, is definitely an upward step.
Well, like we
but
mentioned,
that's not it. It's also the way he's left and the way he's handled himself.
It's his attitude. It's because it's the first time in we've got someone with so much potential, so young, who played already so many games for Manchester United. In everyone's heads, he was going to be there for 10 years, and he's left. It's almost it's battlings of minds. Yeah. He'll get poorly received by the fans, and which is sadly for him fair. Yeah. I hate to see it, but in this case,
it's not. It's never nice, but also I think
you reap what you sow almost.
Yeah.
And, his actions hasn't helped him. And like I say, I hope he enjoys no atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. I hope he enjoys a soulless club that will trade him the minute that they want to.
Stamford Bridge has a good atmosphere.
Nah.
Yes, it does.
It's full of West London poshos.
No, it's not. You've been to a Chelsea game with Fulham is. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but Stamford Bridge with the rattling of the... I mean, fuck Chelsea and everything. But they do have a good atmosphere at the bridge.
He'll just get pawned off to, I don't know, Villarreal for 73 million euros in a couple of years for some backhand transaction. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it. So, anyway, welcome back, Alejandro. I think we're going to lose. As long as he doesn't score, that's the biggest thing I can hope for this weekend. As long as he doesn't score.
God, that would be I'd love to see that, you know.
No, I always want to see it because it could be the X narrative.
It could be
I do love an X narrative.
Kind of...
Yeah.
Because he'll go for it.
Oh, yeah, he'll really go for it. I think he probably does like Man U, objectively.
Yeah, I think
But I think, he also said that Chelsea was the club that he supported growing up, and I just really hate hearing that as well. It really boils my blood.
That's really crazy that Argentinians support Chelsea. What's the link there?
He said he really liked Eden Hazard and that he supported Eden Hazard at Chelsea as a result. But I think he just really hates Ruben Amorim. So I think he's really going to really rattle. I can't even live with them. There's nothing about it. Anyway, Man U probably going to lose. I'll be happy if we don't.
Quick one, another West London derby. Talking of West London teams, Fulham versus Brentford. That'll be somewhat interesting.
I so thought you were going to go to like Brian
or
something.
You know what actually is something that we haven't touched on? Aston Villa haven't scored a goal yet this season.
I'm pretty sure they're the only team in the world.
Yeah, well, it's the top 7 divisions in English football that they are the only team who hasn't scored a goal yet.
That's crazy because they've got guys who score goals.
Yeah. They also have the worst expected XG against them this season as well. I think I saw. So they've really just a bit. I think that they have been a bit unlucky in not scoring a goal, and it will happen, obviously.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, I feel completely fine for them because they signed Jadon Sancho.
God, you're not a vengeful character, are you? But you know
what? It's maybe
you can hold a grudge a little bit. I think it's safe to say.
I don't really hold a grudge much in my own life. But when it comes to my football, yeah, you're right. Actually, I do seem to. I think it's just because we're so bad.
Yeah,
I need people to hate.
To
justify my deep hate inside of myself.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think that's everything from me.
I think that's everything from me.
Well, that has been another episode of the Red and White Chalkboard, folks. Thank you very much for listening. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, please please subscribe, do all that sharing stuff. Keep an eye out for some other videos coming out, obviously all the shorts and all that. What you can do with interacting on that is really appreciated. But yeah, thank you very much, and we will catch you next week. Enjoy the Champions League.